Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, we're going to talk about some hard or harsh truths about women that I feel men learn a little too late. Not all men, however, it is something that I feel, regardless, there might be something in here that can benefit you. However, I will say if it doesn't benefit you or you feel that you are easily triggered, I suggest clicking off the video. So, the first point is women who often lead with physical intimacy in the bedroom. So early in the relationship, there's a lot of physical intimacy. She seems great. She seems open to all sorts of different things, sorts of whatever you guys are doing. That's good for you. Happy, right? She's doing a lot of positions, giving you a lot of things, physically, emotionally, whatever. She's very interested, very open about those things. And for you, you think that this really means she likes you. However, what I notice, okay, women who often lead this way, they often completely stop when y'all get married. And it is often, it's not conscious, it's usually subconscious. It's a way for her to get you to commit to her because you're so enticed by the intimacy that she has led with, you miss her flaws. And so, who are the women who do this, who lead with intimacy early? Okay. So, there's a lot of different types of women who do this. However, the most common one that I see, practicing as a therapist that I've always seen with all these marriages that, struggle with the same case is it's the women who they struggle with abandonment and picking the wrong guy. Okay. And so, I'll try and explain it a little bit more. It's almost like, when she was young, she was chasing guys who actually did not want her, did not commit to her, or who were not the best option for her. And those didn't work out. And so she was always leading intimacy with those guys too. But those guys could have known to some extent, okay, she seems a little bit imbalanced, or she seems like that's not all she has to offer. That's not the right thing to say. That she's leading that for a reason. And some men who have more awareness, they might think, okay, probably because maybe she's not confident in other things she has to offer, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with being confident with your physical perspective. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it's not that she's even confident in that. It's just she's kind of scraping for whatever she thinks can help with a relationship. It's almost like she's using a shortcut with relationships. She's not building real connection. And some of those guys, maybe they were not the best for her because they didn't really want to get to know her past that point. They just physically were connected to her, which for them sounds good if that's what they want to do. But for her, she often ignored the guys who maybe did want to get to know her and they wanted to really like her. She ignored them for those other guys, right? And so what ends up happening is she does that for a long time. And then at one point she feels pressured to be with somebody, be in a relationship with someone who does like her for who she really is, because she to some extent wasted some time, maybe many years, chasing the guy who didn't really like her. And so what ends up happening is then she gets with the guy who actually might like her, might care for her, and she leads really heavily into the intimacy to get you to really understand and fall for her without seeing the side of her that maybe the other guys got to experience that didn't want, or the sides of her that she's not ready to improve, or whatever the case is, right? She's using that leverage subconsciously. And so then what ends up happening is when y'all get married, the fears that she has that made her behave the way she does is no longer there because she finally feels secured in that commitment. And so then the real version of her starts to show up, which is that she's not intimate anymore. She's choosing not to sleep in the same bed as you. She's choosing to sleep with her, I don't know, the kids are in the bed with you guys and there's like no romance any longer. And so that is one thing to know about women who kind of lead this way. It's not always the case, but it's a very common pattern. The next one is that women who constantly choose men who are not healthy for them tend to have abandonment issues. Okay. Now, this is the part that can confuse a lot of people. They think a woman like this has an issue where she's unavailable, emotional unavailability. However, people who are unavailable or who are detached in general, they're detached with everyone. Now, if she's detached with you, but she's very overly open to another guy, then that's not a issue with hyper independence or an issue with unavailability. It's actually an abandonment issue. But for your side, you can't feel that. And I'll explain it. Abandonment feels familiar to her, which is why she tends to pick men who abandon her. You're not going to abandon her. So it's not the cycle that she's familiar with. A lot of people who are traumatized, they will pick something they're familiar with more than something they're not familiar with, even if it's better for them, because she doesn't know that. You know that because maybe you don't have abandonment issues, or maybe you do, but you're learning, you're healing, you're getting better. And so you know that trusting something more secure is a better opportunity for love than continuously chasing something that makes you feel familiar. For her, that's the dynamic that you and her have might be ambiguous. And for her, ambiguous might mean danger. And so she'd rather pick something that is familiar, even if it will hurt her. And so the woman that, for example, if you are with a girl and she is continuously pretty back and forth with you, but really, really open, emotional, almost clingy, I don't like using that word, but I'm trying to explain this so you guys really know, to another guy or other guys, then the issue is that she has abandonment issues and that she might have daddy issues, because likely the father was the one who abandoned her. That's why she's acting that way towards men. And you will also see a lot of times she will drop everything, not just you, but everything, her job, her friends, everything. And I'm saying this as a woman who has a lot of friends who are like this, and they are in this cycle. And it's sad because there are plenty of good guys who want them, and they just won't. They won't see that that's healthy for her. They'd rather just keep this cycle. It's sad. And I know these women in a much more detail than maybe some of you guys do, because they're my friends and I've known them for such a long time. They will take off work, seriously, for these guys. They will sometimes get into debt for these guys without choosing the right guy. I mean, it's not our place to say who's right for her or not, but mentally healthy, yeah, he's probably healthy for her, but she won't not see it. She'll miss that, okay? The next one is women tend to connect with men who are comfortable talking to women instead of those who are not comfortable. So this is not people who are mentally unhealthy. This is universal across the board. A lot of women like to connect with men who have some experience talking to women. I don't even mean in a romantic sense. Like maybe you have a sister, so you kind of just understand how women are and how they talk, instead of being like very shy or uncomfortable, or only having connections with women maybe on the internet or watching videos about women. If you don't have much real life experience with women, sometimes women might not feel comfortable talking to you because she might feel like there's a lot of explanation that she has to explain about herself. Instead of she might have to navigate a lot of judgments or social situations with you that maybe a guy who has more experience connecting with women, talking to them in person, might not have. So she just might choose that because it might just be easier for her. The next one is women who are very, very close to their mom. I'm not saying in a healthy way. An unhealthy closeness can be difficult to marry because now the mom is part of the marriage. Anything that you do, she will tell your mom. She's not going to, that's not healthy at all. I don't support that. I don't think that's healthy. Any couple that I work with, in therapy or in consulting, I do not recommend sharing relationship dynamics with anybody but somebody who it's confidential. So like a therapist, me, for example, or each other. Don't tell your mom, because your mom might give really bad advice and that might just ruin the marriage, especially if this mother is also unhealthy. Maybe she's divorced. Maybe she's not in a good marriage. She's going to teach the kid, the woman who maybe you're in a relationship with, not so good things, bad advice, which will just really ruin the marriage, to be honest. Okay. The next one is confident men tend to get more opportunities with women than men who don't show up as too confident. This is just true. Like, these are just truths that we're talking about. And the last one is women who constantly blame other people tend to have skeletons in their closet. And so I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.